Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Citrix Application Delivery Management Service monthly webinar. Thank you for joining in on time, and this will be the webinar for the month of April. Who's online today? It's me, Sayukta, who's the host and panelist for this webinar. Along with me, I have Isha and Akhil, who are the panelists for different sections, and they are also from the Citrix ADNS product management team. Let's have a quick look at what we'll be covering in the webinar today. We'll start with an overview of ADM service to acquaint all of you who don't know or haven't onboarded onto ADM service until now. Then Isha will take us through an overview of Citrix Application Delivery and Security Service, the CAD service, which has gone GA. Akhil will then take us through interesting improvements done in the AppSec area in ADM. And then I'll be taking over and having a walkthrough to the improvements done in the ADM analytics. And we'll be concluding with a short primer section on the A+ profile analytics. So for all of you who've not yet onboarded onto ADM service, these are the 3 quick steps in which you can jumpstart to ADM service. Firstly, create an account in Citrix Cloud. Second, select built-in as the agent mode. While there are other modes as well which you can go for, built-in is the fastest possible way to get started with management and monitoring capabilities. One prerequisite to ensure that your ADC version is 12.0 and later. And third step would be to use the service URL and activation code to configure the ADC as shown in the screen. These are some of the ADM service advantages. Firstly, it's very easy to operate. There are latest updates coming in at a bi-weekly basis. There are no hassles to manage the infrastructure yourself, no HA, no DR hassles. It gives you faster time to value because you can get started with fewer clicks. The advanced machine learning capabilities, the state-of-the-art features are only there in our ADM service, which is the ADM SaaS flavor. You'll require lower OpEx because there's lesser time, lesser money, and lesser resources needed to take care of the ADM service. ADM service can help you manage any kind of ADC environment, be it on public cloud or on-prem or a hybrid kind of deployment. And it can help you with any application visibility, be it monolith applications or microservice-based applications. Now, ADM service, as you know, is available in a freemium version, which we call as the ADM Service Express tier. Once you jumpstart to ADM service, if you do not have a purchased license, you will be given access to this tier, which is the ADM Express tier, the free tier. As a part of this Express tier, you'll get access to the management and monitoring, there is controller capabilities, in which you'll now have access to all discovered virtual servers in network functions and network reports. We've opened this up. And there is also no limit any longer on the configuration jobs and stylebook config packs. So while this is opened up, do note that in analytics for the Express tier, you'll have access only up to 2 virtual servers. To get analytics on higher number of virtual servers, you'll need to purchase the ADM license. In terms of storage on the freemium tier, that is the Express tier, it is up to 500 MB or 1-day data, whichever is lesser. That is whichever limit is hit first. While that is about the Express tier, you can expand to our ADM advanced licenses to enjoy the full capabilities and features of ADM. You'll get access to a lot of analytics which you can explore by licensing these vServers. You'll get visibility into HDX and gateway insight data, the web insight which gives you insight into the different HTTP level of information, and SSL insight which will give you visibility into the SSL vServers traffic. We have app dashboard where we see all the traffic passing through your vServers and do a scoring mechanism to tell you how your apps are doing. Are they okay? Are they good? Or are they in a critical state and need attention immediately? And you'll also get access to a lot of advanced machine learning based application security analytics. In terms of storage, the analytics for the advanced license, you can get unlimited storage. You can purchase as much as you want. You'll get some storage based on the vServers count you have purchased. And if you want beyond that also, we do have a add-on SKU. So with that, I'll now hand over to Isha, who will be taking us through the CADS GA overview. Over to you, Isha. Thanks.
Thank you, Sayakta. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes, Isha.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just begin. Thank you, Sayakta, for the overview of ADM service. So this is Isha Khurana from ADNS PM team. Today we are going to walk you through on our newly GA'd SaaS offering in Citrix Cloud, that is Citrix App Delivery and Security Service, nothing but CAD service. So we have designed this SaaS offering catering to the needs of customers, not just for today, but for next decade as well. The major focus of this service is intent-driven, where we want to abstract away the complexities of worrying about the configurations. It is nothing less than analogous to a human brain that is constantly learning, adapting, and adjusting to the surroundings, and keeps protecting its environment. With CAD service, we have tried to simplify as much as possible. So it ensures that you are just one click away from your intent. Technically speaking, you just mention your intent, and CADS with its intelligence transforms your declarative intent into policies and thereafter configures your ADCs automatically. So Citrix has been pioneering for load balancing and application delivery controller and has brought many innovations to the market. Now it is ready to transform again with these 4 human principles. So firstly, intent driven, that turns your intent into actions, and it is a continuous enforcement. Always learning. So at day 0, when you deploy your ADCs, it tries to attach to the applications and sites present in that environment. So CAD service learns about the environment that has applications hosted and what traffic patterns, latency, which application is in which environment. All these things are taken care by CAD service before you host your site, and gives you the best recommendations. It is always adapting. When we actually start the live traffic through your application, it starts adapting itself, detects changes on the operations, and monitors whether the system needs to self-heal. And it is a continuous optimization process that it follows. CADS is in line with the market threat vectors that are evolving and getting more and more complex. So CAD service leaves no stone unturned. With its rich set of AppSec features that ensures almost all vulnerabilities are taken care of. Now, after we are aware as to what principles constitute CADS, let's take a look on how it works behind the scene. So CAD service resides in the Citrix Cloud, where app network admin can interact with the service. This is the brain or control plane of the service that is Citrix owned and Citrix managed. By means of Cloud Access Profile, it authorizes the data plane, which is customer owned and Citrix managed. This means that for this service, customers have to give privileges to their infrastructure. That is the IAM permissions to specific VPC where automation for this service can take place. So once you authorize CAD service for operations, traditionally, a lot of infrastructure that is being created, you have to manually provision, configure these NAT gateways, internet gateways, auto-scaling ADCs, agents, etc. Whatever sits in the ADC infrastructure box. But now with CAD service, everything is configured and provisioned automatically in customer's environment or in the VPC. So here, customers can seamlessly deliver and secure their applications with just few clicks, because the onus and because this whole infrastructure, the ADC infrastructure box stays a black box for them. So this is how we bring simplification in the infrastructure management, troubleshooting, monitoring with Citrix managed CAD service. If you already have your sites on-prem or on other clouds, CDNs, etc., or in simple words, when you have your apps spread across global networks, and you want to deliver best user experience to all your customers, irrespective of their geolocation, then we have the multi-site use case for you. CAD service with ITM's intelligence solves this GSLB use case. Once you add sites in the service, it starts collecting information about the sites attached and learning about the DNS traffic or application traffic coming from the app users, internet routes, etc., and thereby redirects them to the most optimal location. CAD service bundles intelligence of intent, security, device management, multi-site applications, self-healing capabilities into our management plane. And the onus of its management lies completely on us. So let's look at some of the use cases that CAD service radically simplifies for each of the app delivery lifecycle stage, be it design, deploy, or optimize. So let's understand each phase followed by a demo so that you can familiarize on the use cases CAD service caters to. So first, let's take a look at the design phase. Here, CAD service leverages ITM technology to provide you an intelligent engine that suggests the best site for your users in cloud environment, be it AWS, Azure, or GCP. It relies on real-time and historical data. The decisions are deduced from 10 billion data points, 1 billion user sessions, 50,000 networks, and it is all but community-fed data. So now you no longer have to guess where to host the application service. Based on the traffic insights, latency, availability, all real-time insights help you to spin up your site in the best location and the most optimal location. So cloud recommendation engine comes to your rescue here. So let's say customers' intent is to migrate from on-prem to cloud with AWS, ensuring their app latency remains less than 100 milliseconds. But here, the customer is only aware as to how the user traffic distribution for his app would be like across various countries and continents. So let's go to the demo. Here, you click on deliver a multi-site app, go to recommendation section and enter the percentage of user traffic. So here we can see 65% traffic is in Ireland, 10% in Australia, and remaining 15% from Estonia. Here, CAD service allows you to choose from various regions within or across different cloud providers. Here, I select AWS EC2. So now I'll click on recommend. So here you can see various recommendations of sites where you can host your application. So the single site recommendation says that you should host in Ireland to attain the latency of 75.91 milliseconds, dual site recommendations and triple site recommendations, along with the global latency advantage. So now let's host our site into a multi-site application. We will give an application name and we'll define user defined or auto allocated as per the domains configured in my Route 53. Add a new site. So here, if your sites are on-prem, data centers, cloud, CDN, or any other external platform, go for user defined. And if you have your sites managed by CAD service, so if you have your applications deployed here itself in CAD service, then go for the managed option. I have a couple of applications deployed in ADS service. So I'll just select the application and the endpoint, and the FQDN and the location will be auto-populated here. The monitor details, everything you can configure as per your requirement. And you also have the option of geo-blocking. Now let's go on to the next step, where you can add your algorithm. So the algorithm that we have here is, we have failover, optimal RTT, failover, round robin, static proximity, and optimal RTT. And along with that, we have stickiness and persistence that you can define. So these all options are available. So now after adding the sites, you have chosen the algorithm that would be preferable for the load balancing. Now just access your application. So leverage the FQDN to access the global app. So you have information options across every field to give you a self-guided workflow. So if you're stuck at any point in time, we have information buttons, and it's a self-guided workflow which will help you to just go over the whole process. So CAT service takes a data-driven approach that can provide you with the ability to plan and design your next cloud migration, compare cost between cloud platforms, and right-size your next cloud deployment. So let's move on to the deploy phase. So here you need to create the public cloud infrastructure. Basically, in our SaaS offering, we support public cloud as of now. So let's see how our live product looks like. Here you can log into your Citrix Cloud account, and in the available services, you will be able to see app delivery and security service type. For a first-time user, this button would be a request trial button. And as I'm already onboarded here, so I will begin with managing it. The trial period will last as 60 days. So CAT service Citrix Managed enables modern app deployment when your workloads are deployed in AWS or when your apps are spread across multiple sites. So here we have two options to deliver an application. Let's take an example where you intend to attain advanced SSL encryption and want to qualify your app as A+ by Qualys Lab. Traditionally, the requirements had to be well understood and kept track of, and each time the configuration had to be updated, aligning with the guidelines set, which could be more error-prone. But here with CAT service, you're just one click away in order to protect your applications. And in case some guidelines change thereafter, you don't have to bother, it will be taken care. So let's deploy an app. So I'll click on deliver an application and create a new application. So I'll deploy my secure app, select the environment and click on next. Here I will add the service, which is the backend server groups that I want to add. So my targets are backend servers, maybe auto-scaling, EC2 or servers. So I'm selecting EC2 instances for now. And I will mention the server that I want to backend my ADC with. Now I'll just select the endpoint. I want to access an external application, and the FQDN type would be user defined because I already have my domains listed in my Route 53. So I'll just go with user defined option. So just mentioning the domain, hosted DNS zones. And as I want a SSL application deployment, so I want a SSL policy to be binded here. So here you can see that we can that all the configurations by Qualys SSL Lab are ready, and it reduces the laborious task of going back and forth and understanding the requirements set by Qualys. So here we are. So just click on the checkbox and bind the SSL policy. Now add the required SSL certificate for your domain and then click on create. Now in the load balancing sections, I will select the least connection algorithm, which is the default one. I'll click on next. The content transformation section, here you can configure your rewrite responder policies. And next comes the security protection. So here we have an extensive list of security policies that you can configure, starting from allowing or blocking the lists, geo-blocking, IP reputation, rate limiting, SQL injections, etc. So here I will enable the SQL injection protection and block the requests if there are any injections for that matter. And if you want to add an exception, you can add to the new exception. So now bind the policy with your application and click on deploy. So this deployment will take a couple of minutes. After your application is deployed, let's try and accessing it through the FQDN. So my application is running fine. Let's check for the A+ rating. So Qualys has given an A+ rating to my application, and all the right SSL policies are defined, ciphers, etc. All the configurations has been pushed into the ADC. Now let's check onto the SQL injection attack. So I'll just put in some keywords and we can see the access is denied. and twice we have tried to do an SQL injection tag. So CAD Service Analytics section is your aid here, and as the admin or app owner to ensure that your apps is always up and running and troubleshoot the issues faster. So here you can view that your applications were running, your violations, everything you can track under your application section. So here you will get to know what was the root cause of the issue, how many times the violations were stuck, and where was the location of the issue as well. So all these attacker information you can get. And if you want to deep dive into the insights, you can go into the web insights section. And under multi-site applications, you can track the health and many more features are available. So let's go on to the optimize section. So once your application has been deployed, so we had just till now we have been focusing on deploying our, but what after the application is deployed and the actual traffic runs through it. So during the operations phase, your traffic fluctuates, internet state changes, so it is more necessary to gauge and self-heal the root cause of the issue. The main areas where application experience is more prone to degrade: app server lag, at ADC lag, and when the internet state changes. So app server degradation over time, there are frequently server issues that hit performance, slow applications to crawl. So CAD service, what it does is it monitors the server health and performance continuously and can remove poorly performing servers such that it is an automatic app server addition or deletion of the bad performing servers automatically to prevent the request being sent here. And secondly, for the ADC exhaustion, when you have demand fluctuations. So what it does is when businesses roll out new services to new markets, the popularity can increase, and that can lead to a high demand. So their CAD service can automate the auto scaling of ADC resources so that you're always right sized for your application and your demand. So the internet is a dynamic place and the state changes quickly. So CAD continuously monitors the state of the internet and can automatically redirect requests to the best site. So previously, optimization was a manual process, frequently based on limited knowledge that was time consuming and more error prone. But CAD service leverages end-to-end closed loop automation and tries to fix problems in real time, which was humanly impossible before. So CAD service starts adapting itself in case there are some performance issues or demand fluctuations or latency increases. Here we will show how CAD service handles poor performing servers. So we can see CAD service automatically adapts and self-heals to optimize continuously. So let's first validate how our application is performing. We can see it is healthy and all the origin servers in the auto scaling group. In AWS, in our AWS account, we can verify that. So we can see all are running fine. Let's check the performance of our app now. So it's 97% with nearly equal server response time we can see here. So all servers have equal response time. But suddenly customers have started experiencing slowness while accessing the app and sometimes timeout too. So we can see that one of the server has a spike that is approximately 4x times the normal baseline. And the performance has degraded to 80%. So let's see how CAD service self-heals here. So in CAD service, while adding origin servers of your application, if an autoscale group is configured, here you need to you have two toggle buttons, detect slow server and auto replace slow server. So these two buttons you can enable such that the poor performing servers can be detected and also auto replaced on the go. Now, after you deploy your application, let's go on to the action history section. Here, all the related actions are logged. We can we can see that the anomalous behavior on CAD service with its self-healing capability of the CAD service detects the poor performing server and it tags the faulty server to be true. And also, the poor performing server was gracefully removed from the server farm and the newly server was added. So it ensures that all the persistent connections are honored and increase the performance. So the performance analysis we can have here. So it has increased to 99% now. So here we can observe that overall the goals of self-healing aspect of Citrix CAD service are twofold. Number one, to maintain the best app experience for the users, and secondly, to reduce the IT intervention when fixing the issues. So the key value props that CAD service brings to the table are Citrix Managed Configuration Management Monitoring. Here you just need to define the intent and forget the rest. With one single click, you can define your intent and we will do under the hood configurations for you. CAD service intelligently learns your intent and in case of any anomalous behavior, it takes appropriate corrective actions to self-heal and resolve the gaps. It has rich set of security portfolio, starting from WAF, bot, API protections, and the way you consume is very much simplified. Here you just have toggling of buttons that you need to enable or disable to ensure that your security policies are configured. One important thing is we have made our GSLBs much more internet aware because we have integrated ITM with it. So with ITM's intelligence, GSLB takes data-driven decisions based on 10 billion data points, which are more intuitive, advanced, and appropriate. Users now get more intuitive insights and client traffic is directed to the best performing site so that the end user experience is not compromised at any cost. And talking of the analytics, so it has a single pass dashboard to gain the visibility and analyze your application behavior, be it response time, latency, SSL, cipher mismatch, all these things you can have the analysis. You can do the analysis with all the information. And if you want to export the data to some Splunk or S3 log for further analysis, you can do so for that. And also, it's a SaaS offering, so it's consumption based, where you pay for what you consume. So after the deep dive of all the value propositions of CAD service, if you want to go away from managing your app delivery infrastructure and want a simple and intuitive tool at your aid, CADS is your go-to service, starting from app migrations, new app deployments, and maintaining same security posture across clouds. It does it all. And as CADS is now GA, you can take the advantage of this single pass architecture that not only takes care of your load balancing your modern applications, but manages, monitors, analyzes, and troubleshoots across your hybrid multi-cloud deployments with a lower TCO and a better latency. So with this, please do try out CAD service.
All right. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks, wherever you are. My name is Akhil Nar, and I'm a PM for the ADNS team. And today I will go over some of the improvement in our AppSec capabilities. And just to tell you how we secure your apps that are hosted on ADC and how you can do it better with ADM service. Now, before I go ahead, just wanted to let you know that if you have configured rate limiting feature as one of the bot management features on your ADCs, now you can view violations based on the URL, source IP, geolocation, and the session, and the same everything can be viewed on your ADM service as well. Now, besides the rate limiting feature, if you have enabled the device fingerprinting feature, you can also enable headless browser detection, which essentially means that that an attacker using any automation tool such as Selenium that is capable of opening a browser on its own, and then if they try to access your applications, then we would be able to detect those as well, and the same violations will be reported on your ADM service. Now, what improvement we have introduced apart from adding new violation is to simplify the overall configuration flow to enable some of the advanced security analytics. Some of those examples you may have seen or you may be already using it are the account takeover use case, where attackers are simply trying to brute force their way into your account in order to compromise them or steal a certain data. Or they can simply write a bot or a script that can scrape content of your application, scan the website, or even perform some DOS or denial of service activities such as upload or downloading files, excessive connections, and etc. Now, why would you actually require these? Now, as you know, the bot management feature, they're the traditional rule-based approach, whereas the actions that you see here, the account takeover, content scraping, website scanning, and DOS, they're more of an automated function, or let's say a behavioral-based attack that tries to mimic a human interaction. So this is where the traditional methods fail, and you have to leverage AI and the ML capabilities. The good thing about this is, if you're already using or already have premium ADC licenses, then you're entitled to use all of these AI/ML features. Now, let me go to the demo and show you what it's like on the ADM service. So here, if you see here, I'm on the ADM service security violations dashboard. And at the end of the page, I can see all different types of violations that are populated here. And sorry about that. And here you can see different violations, all that are configured and whatnot, and few more details here. But how do you go about configuring them? Well, all you need to do is on this page itself, the top right corner, you can click on the gear icon, and this will take you to a page where all your vServers will be listed. Just go to the required vServer here, click on Edit Analytics, and it will open this slider. Here you can go ahead and select WAF and bot insights. So all the violations that are on your ADCs are populated here. And to configure the advanced AI/ML use cases, you can click on Advanced Security Analytics. And here you see you will be presented with different options: account takeover, API abuse, content scraping, and website scanning, and so on. And not only that, you can here use an existing security profile. Now here, if I select any one of the existing one, it will automatically select the profiles that were already selected as part of it, add the same one or edit any other, and click on save. Or you can simply click on create new profile, and give it a name, select any use cases that you want to enable. And once you have selected the right options, you can click on apply profile. And that's about it. So once you have configured them, the AI/ML engine that is running on the ADM service will take about a week or two to learn your network pattern and behavior and flag certain violations that it thinks are likely a threat or a malicious actor trying to do some harm to your system. And what does that look like? So once you're back to the all violations page here, just giving it some time to load. Yeah. So I'm under the bot section here. And if you see, a lot of these violations have certain tags associated with it. For example, the custom policy expression and crawler says that they were detected through your blacklist that you have maintained on ADC or through signatures. And then for the AI/ML ones, you will see some of them flagged as behavior-based. So over there, you can see content scrapers and website scanners. And few other examples such as account takeover, that is for your custom web application. Or if you're using a Citrix gateway, you will get this option, account takeover for Citrix gateway. So if you could just click here, you will be presented with this graph that has these different metrics. So it shows you the total requests, the failed logins, successful logins, and any violation and any likely indications of such violations. And over here, the table below the graph, you can see few additional details, as in it will show you the time and why something was detected, as in because out of the total logins, there was about 7.3 thousand or 7,300 failed logins and only 130 successful logins. So the AI and the ML module is able to determine that this could be a likely indication of an account takeover attack. And you can drill down further by clicking on this hyperlink, and it will show you the source IP. and each of their activities accordingly. And similarly, you can export this details and send it for further investigations. So that is one way of configuring them. The other way of doing this would be to simply go to the analytics and the licensing configuration. And then again, once you are here near the configure analytics page, simply select one of the V servers and click on edit analytics. And then again, you will be presented with the same flow. Now, we understand that not all of you may be using ADM service all the time or monitoring all your ADCs every time. So you can go over here and just configure some notifications. And with the help of notifications, you can determine whether you want these notifications to be sent as part of your email, Slack, PagerDuty, or ServiceNow. Or let's say if you're using any SIEM tools such as Splunk, with which we have an integration, you can send these violations to your SIEM tools, and then you would be able to see all the violations there as well. So with that, that's all I had for now as part of my presentation. So let me know if you have any queries. I'd be happy to answer them. If anything else, feel free to reach out to me. And yes, please do go ahead, and if you're a premium license, configure bot and or WAF and secure your applications. Thank you. Over to you, Amy, Sayukta.
Thanks, Akhil. That was great. Hey everyone, I'm Sayukta, and now I'll be taking you through some of the improvements which we've done in the analytics section of ADM. The first improvement which I want to take you through is on infrastructure analytics. We've now given the option to configure notifications for specific issues. So the feedback we got from admins was that although infrastructure analytics was liked and it's been widely used by multiple admins, on the notification front, the admins do not want to get notified for every kind of issue. They would like to be selective and would like to get notified on specific kind of issues only, and would like to configure that for themselves. So with that, what we've done is in infrastructure analytics, we've now opened up the option for you to select the required issues, enable the notifications for issues if they breach the thresholds, and thereafter you'll receive notifications only for those selected and configured issues. So while earlier they were sent for all, you can now pick and select which notification you want. On the product, on the product, if you go to infrastructure analytics, which is under infrastructure, you would have seen this view or this view. So beside it, you will see a small settings button, which you can click, go to the score indicator settings, which tells you the scoring parameters taken into consideration, the thresholds, weight, etc. And what we've added new here is this notification option, right? So for each of the different parameters or factors contributing to this scoring, you can enable the notification as per your liking. So there are multiple categories here. You can expand, have a look, and whichever you feel you want to monitor, you can set notifications for those. Do take a note that when you're enabling notifications, you need to have at least one email option configured here, or DL or email address, so that when you're selecting and saying notification option enabled here, it will be automatically selected as that default DL if you have one, or you can select which particular DL you want for it to be sent. So this was the first improvement. The second one is more of a usability one, in which we have ensured that the filters which you use on App Dashboard are retained. So the use case was that whenever admins are using App Dashboard, they use multiple filters to narrow down onto specific apps which they're interested in monitoring. Now, while they're using these mix of filters, they do switch between one ADM UI to another. And then when they come back to the App Dashboard UI, the filters were not getting retained and were getting lost as the design was not meant for them to be retained. So with this improvement, now we will retain the filters, be it in the search bar or the key metrics filters. Even if you return to App Dashboard from another navigation on ADM UI, you'll see them retained. And even if you close the browser and open a new session from the same browser, you will still see the filters retained. Just note that if you open a new session from a completely different browser, then of course we will not be able to retain these filters. Or if you're using ADM in an incognito mode on the browser, in that case as well, we will not be able to retain the filters. Third one is the improvements done to the unified dashboard. We had seen a presentation on unified dashboard in the previous ADM webinars. So this is the new dashboard which kind of up-levels all the information from other dashboard and acts like a great starting point for admins. So here we've done some more improvements as to you can click the different key metric counts under different categories to view the details of the affected ADCs, or applications, etc. Under the applications as well, we've done some UI changes to make the SSL metrics more visually informative. And under gateway, we've added a new users geo distribution graph, which shows you the top 3 countries based on your user count accessing the gateways. So if you go here, for those of you who don't know where the unified dashboard is, under overview, this is the new dashboard which is there. It will be a great starting point. If you haven't yet had a look at it, do check it out. So one improvement is everything is clickable. You can click anything here and see the view ADC instances, or if you want to see, say, the affected applications, you click here and you'll be able to go to the next drill down stage. And another one which we've done is also added this users geo distribution in the gateway section, right? Where right now we have users coming only from US, but if you had it coming from different regions, you'll be able to see the top 3 months here. So that was a walkthrough on the improvements which we've done on the ADM analytics of late. Now we'll go to our primer section. As you know, in every webinar, we do this primer section, which is not something new which we've introduced. These features have been introduced in some time now, but they are very helpful for specific use case. And we believe that doing a recap or giving these different primer sections in webinar will be helpful for you. So today we'll be having a look at the SSL A+ rating analytics. So how does an admin benefit from this A+ analytics? Firstly, you can discover which of your applications are not A+ rated using a filter option in App Dashboard, which gives you the rating of the app. Once you've narrowed down on these specific applications which are not A+, you can then assess what are the configuration gaps, why is it not currently A+, and how you can get it to A+ rating. There are recommendations as well. Once you've assessed that and you want to go ahead and make the application A+, we have a one-click way of doing that, in which you say that you want to apply the A+ rating, and in the backend it will deploy this ADC secure front-end profile on all the virtual servers bound to the app, which will make it A+. And thereafter, you can choose to analyze the impact on the incoming traffic after you've done these A+ configuration changes by using SSL Insight. So this end-to-end mechanism will help you assess your SSL posture, how secure it is, understand which particular applications are not A+, and then take the recommended actions. So in ADM, you'll be able to see this particular filter here, SSL ratings. You can click on that to narrow it down. Once you click on not A+ or anything else which is shown here, it will narrow down to the apps which are not A+. You can then drill down more onto a specific app, and it will show you, yes, it's not A+. You'll have an option to upgrade. Before upgrade, you can choose to see what are the configurations which are currently giving an issue, as in giving you a lesser rating for that app, and what are the recommended configs. So you can expand these options and see under each category, like protocol config, you can see currently which protocol is enabled, which you need to disable for getting a A+ rating. In the protocol details, you will see the protocol detail level information and what recommendation we give. Similarly for other categories like Cypher Suite, etc. Once you do that, you can proceed to say that you want to make it A+. It will show you the configuration changes which are about to be applied. One important point that this does impact the application traffic if you're doing it live, of course, because it will be changing the binding. So do take a note of that and plan accordingly. So you can do a quick review of these config changes before going ahead. And once you continue, that a particular application will have A+ rating profile bound to it. So on the ADM, although we've seen it there, here on the dashboard, you will see the SSL filter. So here I have, if you've not selected anything, you will see all apps. Once you select a specific rating, here I've selected B, you will see the applications. Thereafter, you can select a specific application here, drill down to that application. You will see an SSL tab here. You can go there and then see that the SSL rating is B. You can see the different configurations as we saw in the slide presentation as well. And then you can go to upgrade it. You can click this particular section to view the command details as to what will be applied, see the different changes which will be done, and then choose to continue. So do have a look at this. It's a useful feature in ADM. It will help you to get a higher rating across your applications. So that was all we had for today. We have still 10 minutes left, so we give that time back to you. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking out your time and attending this webinar today.